No stress, just vibes, let it flow, feel alive.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Chris from Starting Over Daily. Welcome back to my channel. Well, anyway, I'm just here on my lunch break. I'm about to get some food to eat. Yeah, I'm kind of starving. I hope everybody is having an awesome day. Yeah, I'm just back to the grind today, Sunday. It's our little employee break room here. This is pretty much where I spend my me time, just eating my lunch. Yeah, so first today, I got some salad, some bag salad. Oh yeah, and I got a shout out to Grishi on one of my comments there. I did, however, made the chicken, or replaced the chicken salad with the egg salad. Pretty cool. Yeah, I'm gonna try that out. Thanks for the tip. Gotta break up that monotonous menu of everyday chicken breast and cucumbers. All right, so let's get my bread toasted real quick. So I just got this little bread here. This is Dave's Killer Bread, 21 grain. To be honest, it's still kind of hard, man, following this diet. But you know, honestly, I used to ignore my health completely. Yeah, I used to just ignore my health completely. Ate whatever I wanted to, whenever I wanted to. Didn't really think much about it, you know, but I always told myself, yeah, I'll do it later. You know, I'll try to eat healthy later. And later was too late. But, you know, I'm here today, still trying, still moving forward and trying to, you know, just stay healthy. But yeah, you know, the late, eventually it caught up to me, man. And after that heart attack, everything just pretty much changed. Not overnight, but just mentally, you know. I can remember when I got out of the hospital, I was just constantly just thinking to myself, felt like every offbeat heart or offbeat, whatever you call it, but it just didn't feel right. I was still scared, you know. But the doctor told me it's normal. It's normal to feel those kind of things, and it's normal to feel the way I felt. When I went into surgery, I was kind of questioning the doctor, right? And it was kind of hard. The language barrier wasn't really there. You know, me speaking English, he spoke a little bit of English, and you know, I asked the translator at the time, because there was a translator. You know, I asked her, I said, hey man, how many surgeries has this guy, you know, done? And so she went to go ask him. She went to ask him, and then she came back, and she was like, yeah, don't worry about it. There's actually like a waiting list right now. So I mean, you're going to be the 6th person today to have a stent put in your heart. And I was like, okay, all right. So it seemed like a normal day at the ER, you know, but it's nothing to laugh about. But it seemed like a normal day at the ER, and you know, here I am. I'm stressing out, thinking about, man, what's going to happen? What if they put this stent in the wrong valve or something? I don't know, but it was just bizarre that, you know, I mean, it could be the language barrier or whatever, but it was just weird how she said, oh yeah, it's like, yeah, don't worry about it, you're good. Yeah, you're just the next customer, don't worry about it, you're good. So I was like, okay. All right, I think I'm in good hands. So when they brought me into the emergency room, it looked like it just looked like a normal. How can I explain this? So imagine like a room like this, but it kind of looked like they were still building this department. So it was kind of dark and gloomy, but they had state-of-the-art equipment in this room, man. It was, he pulled up on the screen, showed all of my veins in real time, and I just saw my heartbeat. And he was looking at the part of the valve in my heart where it was like all my veins, right? So this part of my heart should be pumping blood, but it was just like dead. There was no blood flow here. The blood flow just stopped here. It's like, so he said, all right, we're gonna go ahead and go in through your wrist now. Insert through the wrist. And then I just felt this really tiny, like an ant, or like, you know, when your hand gets numb or when you sit on it, or your leg. It kind of felt like that, but very minimal and very just isolated to one area. So I feel it, and then he goes, all right, we reached the valve. We reached the valve now. I'm like, all right. So he goes, all right, we're gonna go ahead and blow up the balloon. So he starts blowing up the balloon, right? And I'm awake during this whole thing. They didn't give me any, or they gave me some local anesthesia or anesthetics, whatever, on the insertion point. So he goes, all right, we're gonna blow up the balloon now. I'm like, okay. So as he's blowing it up, I could feel this little like pressure, right, in my chest. And I kind of felt like the first pressure that I felt when I had the heart attack. So it felt like I was stopping, and it just kind of got to the point where the balloon was already at the point where he needed to pop the balloon. So he goes, all right, you're gonna feel a little bit of shortness of breath, but it's normal. But yeah, it was the weirdest feeling ever. And so when he put it in, he blew it up, and it got tight for just maybe 2 seconds, where I just felt everything just like stop. And then when he popped that balloon, just felt like this rush of just energy, like blood. So remember I was talking earlier that blood was just stopping here? Man, once when he popped that balloon, it was like whoosh, all these veins just started going, and it was just so intense. It was like I was just like a brand new person. Like I felt like I jumped through the ceiling or something. Like I just like my body just like radiated with energy. It was insane. But yeah, that was crazy. But that's what happened, man. I was after that, I immediately got emotional because I just felt that sudden change, that sudden relief of, I just didn't feel the pain anymore. I just felt just like, man, I can't explain that, but it's like your first sip of coffee in the morning or something like that. If you're, or you know, the first, you haven't had something in so long, maybe it's a meal or something good, and it's like, oh man, that first bite, or that first feeling. Yeah, that's what I felt, and it was amazing. And you know, I'm glad to be here, man. That's all I can say. And now, boiling down to right now, my eating habits. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I got the egg salad with the bread. I mean, I used to just, man, I work in a grocery store. So imagine that. You know, you're hungry, and you just walk out into the floor, and you just buy whatever you want to buy because you want to eat it. It's right there. It's so easily accessible. But now, I kind of just toned it down a little bit. And you know, I'll be real, man, changing my eating habits is hard. I mean, I'm still struggling till this day. I mean, I'm not all Mr. Healthy guy trying to eat all this good stuff, but the main thing in the back of my mind is my life now depends on what I eat and what I put in my body. And technically, I've been doing good so far. I've dropped a couple pounds. I mean, a lot of pounds, really. Post heart attack, I was 230 pounds. Now I'm down to like 207. So right now I'm kind of steady in that area, but I need to include more vigorous exercise. But right now I got to wait a couple more days till June to get the clearance from my doctor. And, you know, hopefully I'll be doing more. Right now I'm just riding bikes, you know, going on brisk walks as far as doing what the doctor recommends. But it's been a journey. And, you know, like I said, honestly, sometimes I still want to go back to my eating habits. And my favorite is Reese's Pieces candy bars, man. Jeez, just to have one of those again. But, you know, there are times where I fall off the wagon and I have one piece of Reese's, and, you know, I give the rest to my coworkers. You know, I just need to get that taste in my mouth, because if I don't, I'd probably, you know, drive myself crazy too. But, you know, it's okay. My last follow-up with my diabetes doctor, you know, he kind of told me, you know, don't think of yourself as a monk. You know, you still need to have, you know, the things you had before, but in moderation. You know, don't be eating 5 bags of Reese's at one sitting. Yeah, of course. I mean, I didn't literally do that, but I mean, I could have, but you know, it's just change of eating habits. But, and you know, with that being said, you know, before this all happened, you know, I took my health for granted, and I just didn't have a care, man, in the world. And I was reading my text today. You know, I'm sure everybody's got that family chat. And, you know, when you look at pictures from the olden days, it kind of just makes you realize, like, wow, I remember that day. And one of the pictures that I saw reminded me of a Sunday. You know, a Sunday, it was kind of a Sunday thing where my family and I, we'd all get together and just hang out at grandma's house. And, you know, now when I look back at it, I have to start creating these Sundays now with my family, and start something that's important to me. But let me just take a bite of this egg salad sandwich before the bread gets all soft. So, honestly, this channel, man, YouTube channel, is kind of becoming a part of my reset for my life, and just kind of do something that I enjoy doing, do something that I like to do. But, you know, I'm still figuring it out. Still trying to build better habits. But at least I'm trying. You know, that's the thing. And I appreciate you guys being here. I'll see you in the next one. This is Chris from Starting Over Daily. Y'all have an awesome day, man. Peace out.